England versus Brazil ladies football yesterday, which was awesome. Except that Brazil won, but it was still awesome. It was good fun. Sleep is for the weak. Yeah, let's go with that. I'll agree with that. Sleep is for the weak. Like Derek Trotter used to say, food is for wimps. Sleep is for the weak. Same thing. Hang on, do I want to go in there? I came out there, didn't I? No, it says to go back in. Explore the cave. What quest were we on for this? I don't remember this. On the High King's Trail, it just says explore the cave. I thought I'd been in there and come out. No, that's right. We saved the game just as I got the door open. I remember. So we're on the High King's Trail. That's where we are with Greedfall. He was confused for a moment. It's the first day of your weekend with your new schedule change and it feels like Saturday. I know that feeling. When you change your schedule, I mean, I get it whenever time the school breaks up and the kids are on holiday. It just doesn't feel right. And you don't know where you are for like the first few days. And well, I'm always like a day behind. If there's a public holiday, I'm always a day behind with that as well. Like halfway through the week, I just don't know. I think, hang on, is it Tuesday? No, hang on, it can't be because I had yesterday off. But hang on, no, it was a public holiday. But that felt like a Sunday. Weird stuff, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to...
The paint of this fresco is still fresh. It must have been painted recently. It's of a crowned man. Vinbar, no doubt. It looks as if he's walking through the skies towards the volcano. A face has been painted on the volcano.
The spirit of the mountain. My heart did not betray me. Vinbar has readied himself to join Enon Milfrichtemen.
Was that why you came in here? To confirm that supposition?
To understand, yes. As the years passed, my Minundanem grew more and more distant to me.
What?
I thought at first it was due to his status and the invasion of the Renaigse. But now I see that he was hearing the call of Enon Milfrichtemen. He had no choice but to answer it. Oh, Vinbar, why did you not share this with me?
Interesting stuff. So the High King is going to join the god. And what will that achieve, pray tell? I don't know. Got any new stuff, Indigo? It's much better for your neck to be able to lift up the monitor higher with the desk. But oh, that makes such a difference, doesn't it? So you get the monitor at just the right height for your eyes. They say, I think, a lot of the guides I read, that your eye level should be at about 75% up the monitor screen. I don't know if that's correct, but you don't want to be like looking down, and you don't want to be tilting your head up to look at things either, because that sort of puts all strain on. So, but yeah, once you get that, it makes such a difference. I took things a step further by make sure my chair was at just the right height for the correct angle bend in my legs. Yeah, when you're sitting there, 90-degree bend, feet flat on the floor. And then setting the desk to be the right height to work on, so you're not hunching your shoulders up to work on it. Or when you're spending a lot of time at a desk, it makes such a difference once you get it all set up. It is nice. You're not kept up with my playthrough of this game, so you have no idea what's going on? Don't worry, I knew. We're going towards the end. We're sort of discovering loads and loads and loads of weird stuff. Well, I will be going towards the end if I walk in the right direction, it seems. We're finding out that my main character has plenty of... Well, the gist of this story is that this character comes from a big continental power, and they've decided to try and colonize this island, along with two other big continental powers. And everyone is treating the natives like crap. Apart from me, I'm a diplomat, supposed to be negotiating with the various powers here. And it turns out that we've got a bit of history. My character has a bit of islander heritage in his blood. His mother was a native here, who was taken against her will, possibly. We don't know.
This looks like it represents a man who transforms himself into some kind of enormous bird.
He is a Denegad, becoming a Nadaig Meneman. Vinbar was also bound to the mountain. It is no doubt the path he has chosen to follow.
If I understand correctly, the Donegard are metamorphed differently according to the place they are bound.
Yes. The Sinolmenawi bind them to a specific place, and in return they become the Guardians. But how could a Guardian of the Plains resemble a Guardian of the Mountains?
Do you believe that Vinbar is readying himself to undergo this transformation? I thought it was a very slow process.
For some, it takes years. At least this is what is said. For others, it might take place the very moment where the Donegad surrenders to Enol Milfrichtemen. I hope only to have the time to bid him farewell.
It's kind of weird, because the main story it doesn't really focus around the character and his background like you would expect. In fact, it's been frustratingly absent until we're getting towards this latter half of the game. Despite him having this birthmark that everyone has pointed out throughout the game makes him a native of this island. It's just not been mentioned in the story up until this last part. And I'm not quite sure where the game's going. It sounds like the islanders, the sort of the powerful wise men, shaman type leaders of the islanders, turn into these massive creatures by... well, their god changes them into one of these creatures, these bosses that we've been fighting all the way through. Seed of the Mountain Gate. I think that's to let us back in.
Given how well hidden this seed was, it must open an important passage. All we have to do is find out which.
That sounds like a clue, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, what have we got here? This is a bit bright.
This mural is also ancient. It seems to show a doorway into the mountain. This door appears to be in front of a circle of stone. There are 2 altars and 2 seeds.
The Donegada seal certain sacred places with root doors.
Yes, I've run into similar barriers. It's all a matter of finding the right seed. But here there are 2 that seem to be different. For one, the flower motifs seem to indicate which plant is required.
This is possible. The caverns of knowledge are used to initiate and transmit the knowledge of the Donegada. This painting must teach the younger how to reach the sacred place where they will bind themselves.
In that case, shouldn't there be an illustration of the second plant?
The initiates also learn by listening to their masters.
Was that a hint that she should shut up and that I should shut up and listen? You used to have that stupid habit to push your head forward because you were sitting back in your chair, tilted backward. Oh, I see. And you put a proper straight. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like your chair leans back, so you end up sitting tilted forward like this to play. I used to have a horrendous setup years ago. It was this computer desk where the keyboard and stuff was at desk height, but there was this little shelf at the back where your monitor went. So you would lean forward into it to play, but then look up like this to look at the monitor. And I ended up with horrendous neck and shoulder pain just across the top of my shoulders. And I put up with that for way too long because I couldn't afford another desk. Yeah, that was bad. But yeah, you're right. Having the correct chair makes a huge difference. And some of these so-called gaming chairs aren't necessarily the best for it. Look at the... If you want to get an idea of what the shape and style should be, look at the very expensive office chairs. Like, is it Herman Miller? I mean, they go for like £700 or £800 new. A hell of a lot of money. But there's also a good second-hand market in them. And mine is a Steelcase Leap, which has the adjustable arm support, adjustable seat depth, quite a bit of adjustable back positioning. Stuff like that is often better than the gaming chairs.
On this one, we see a sacred site with raised stones. And behind the face of the volcano, we also see the path that leads there. Like some sort of schematic.
This must certainly be the path the young apprentices must walk. And the Donegada that are prepared to surrender themselves to Enol Milfrichtemen.
Do you recognize the place where the entrance can be found?
I think so. It looks like the grotto that lies to the northwest of our village.
With all that we've learned from studying these paintings, we should be able to find Vinbar.
Do we want to,
I just
though?
hope there's still enough of him left to answer us.
What do you hope to ask of him?
We hope that he will agree to take us into the sanctuary of Dorhad Genadu.
What do you hope to ask of him? Why would the
These
Renaiks...
names.
It matter not. My head spins. I will wait for you outside.
Please, go ahead. We will join you shortly.
Sarah is upset, and I don't think that she trusts us. We should hurry and catch up to her.
Wait, did you hear
This
that?
door is locked. Sarah has put us in a very tricky situation.
She did not want us to find Vinbar. Come, these caves often have several exits.
So I heard a door locking. I heard the stones moving, but I don't know which ones slid into place there. That was kind of weird. Can we not just go down the back of here? I will spend those skill points in a moment, I promise. Oh, this looks like... Oh, okay. That was just to get there, was it? I thought, is it just leading me the way out? It's just leading me the way out. Okay, that's not too complicated then. Let's spend some skill points while we're in here. One skill point. I am still working up the two-handed stuff. I am going to resist using all the magic things. I haven't got a two-handed axe because I can't wield any decent ones. We've got an attribute. I really want to use more guns and bigger and better guns, but it's not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. I could respec this, actually, because what I really want is all the agility. Strength isn't that important, but I could put the extra points that I'm getting from strength into that. The trouble is, strength has a nice sort of benefit to my melee damage. So this is for using the big two-handed swords. Each one of these boosts their damage by 10%, is it? No, it doesn't actually. I'm wrong. It boosts the armor damage by 10% and the stun by 20%, which is nice. Whereas each one of these boosts the damage and the armor damage by 10%. I do like guns. What's that one? Endurance. That was just for the armor, which I don't care too much about now. Tough choices, chat. Tough choices. What shall I do? Shall I go all out for the two-handed hammers? Or shall I go for the guns? What do you think? Most important thing about the chair for you is to have as close to 90 degrees as possible. Do you mean like the back? So you sat nicely upright? Yeah. I mean, I think that helps a lot. Because if you're leaning away or leaning in, it's very possible to end up with bad sort of neck tilting problems either way. You miss being able to sit in a chair normally, and you? Is that due to back issues? I can't decide on this. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll save that, and we'll have a look at the merchant shop at the next guns that are available, and we'll see if we really do need to respec out of that. This looks nice. I like this. I have seen the light. Can we look up into there? No, it's not quite as bright as it looks like it should be. That's somewhat disappointing. Find a way to get out of the Cave of Knowledge. Find the passage in the mountain. Is it going to give us a clue? It gives us a dirty, great big clue. Okay, so let's sprint down here. Back, neck and shoulder injury. That's not a nice combination. Because, I mean, they're all things that, like, have such a knock-on effect from posture. Or affect your posture. And if you're having to adjust your posture to cope with, like, a back injury, it has a knock-on effect on your neck and everything else. So, yeah, I know what you're going through. I do. Having had neck problems before.
Find this passage to the northern mountain before she decides to come and fight us directly.
Well, those traps weren't exactly set. You know, they weren't exactly hidden too well. But I wonder, it might be because I've got an intuition skill high enough to spot them. Possibly. Oh, is that? Yay! Iron ore. Useful for upgrades. And making bullets, although we have a lot of bullets at the moment. I wonder if that respawns every time I save or load the game, because I'm pretty sure I'll have looted that on the way up here. Although we might have been in that cave for a long time, I can't remember. Oh, that one hasn't respawned, so maybe not. Where are we going? No, we're going the right way. It's just a long way down here. What's that? Can you see that? What's that on the other side? It says a giant skull. kind of looks like that, right? Oh no, it's just a big fallen tree. You injured your shoulder and neck when you were in college. Randomly gets angry at you. Injured my back at work 4 or 5 years ago and wasn't able to get timely treatment because it was workers' compensation. That sucks. Yeah, I have a few issues with my neck that I think I mentioned. It used to be bad years ago when I had that really bad posture for the desk. That wasn't the thing that really caused it, but that was very uncomfortable and set it off. And then, it's about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know what I did, but I had some other issue with it. It was horrendous. I ended up going to see the physio, and they gave me some exercises to do, which made it worse. And unfortunately now, every time I turn my head to the... You might be able to hear this on the microphone. Ouch. But if I turn my head to the side, it clicks. Either way, it clicks. And it didn't do that before the physio gave me the exercises. It's like bone grinding on bone. I've been assured that it's not going to be detrimental and it doesn't cause really any pain. But it's quite off-putting. It's quite loud as well. So I dare say that's going to catch up with me at some point in the future. Yay, the joys of getting old. Back injury actually caused a problem with your hip, which then in turn caused, is that plantar fasciitis? It's amazing how one problem can do so much damage. Yeah, backs, necks, hips, legs, knees. They all have so many bloody knock-on effects with the rest of your balance and posture. And they're all hard things to treat as well. Hey, stealth! Hey, he's gone down. I like these pigs now. I can cope with these pigs quite well. For all it says, I don't do much armor damage. The armor doesn't really seem to like hold me back much. Fighting things. I mean, look, it still does a nice amount of damage going straight through his armor. Who cares? Do stuff like that and kill it. It's fine. Your left shoulder cracks always, and your left wrist is also pretty done. Listen to us, we sound like a load of old cripples talking about our war wounds from gaming and work over the years. Best part of all this is you're only 28. Oh, I do feel your pain, and I don't mean that as a pun. My wife's had back pain since she was 19. Her year at uni got deferred, or her starting university got deferred for a year. So she did this. It was like a therapy course and a massage course. She was a qualified masseuse, and that's what knackered her back over. And it was sort of leaning over the table, massaging people. That's what did it. Ever since then, she's been in like pain, and she's had scans and tests and all sorts, and nothing seems to. Well, they can't find anything wrong, so they say. But yeah, it's just awkward. It doesn't stop her doing anything. It's just awkward. These creatures are horrifying. As my comrade and I were trying to climb a wall, one of these large winged beasts attacked us. It was wielding an enormous sword and used it to cut the rope which my companion was holding. Perhaps I could have prevented this if I had a weapon, but all I could do was watch my friend fall, powerless. Cursed be this expedition. Flying winged beasts with a sword. That's something we haven't come across so far. Your left wrist was broken 7 years ago. They didn't pull it all back in place properly. Now if you do too much physical stress on it, you're unable to use the left hand properly for a few days. That sounds really uncomfortable. My dad is the typical sort of man of an older generation that refuses to go and see the doctor, unless his head's hanging off.
This is the place which was depicted on the mural in the Cave of Knowledge.
Was it?
In fact, Vinbar visibly went through this passage not long ago.
Did he? Are you sure? Yeah, and years ago, he had his thumb hit really badly by a sheep. Yeah, he's a farmer. It happens. And it actually dislocated it, but he didn't really realise at the time. He just thought it hurt a lot and it was all swollen up and he couldn't use it for 6 weeks. But instead of going to see the doctor, he just put up with it. And now his thumb is really weirdly, I can't do it because mine's not dislocated, but it's really weirdly, can I show you on there? Out of its socket. And it's set like that permanently, and he can sort of use it and move it, but his hand looks like this weird claw hand, and he'd have to go and get the whole thing broken again, redislocated and reset, because all the tendons and everything have sort of healed up and adapted to it. It's weird. So where are we going in here? We don't know where we're going in here. Sacred passage to the mountain. Yes, we have invaded Vinbar's sacred passage. I bet he didn't ask for that. You got wear and tear in the muscles over time? Doing the same thing over and over again? Ah, like a repetitive strain. You lifted properly at work and still injured your back. Yeah, it's in the repetitive motion. It's really weird how things can go sometimes. I have a friend who's he's a builder, but he did a lot of bricklaying primarily. And he said for years and years and years, he'd lifted bags of cement, bags of sand, and hods of bricks and all sorts of things. Never hurt himself. His back had been fine. And then one day, he just leaned over to pick up a screwdriver off a table, and it just went in his spine somewhere, and he's been in pain with it ever since. It's just odd. It just takes one little thing of the wrong thing, or a lot of repetition of something to wear it out, like you've experienced. Your left hand and thumb sometimes get stuck when rotating. That must be like really awkward. Good job it's not your right hand, eh? Assuming you're right-handed. Oh, we see monsters. This looks like a... Ah, okay, we've got an area. We've got an area. We know where we're going now. Let's hit a save on that. Those things looking right at me. Yep. Boom. What I need is an area of effect. I need a blunderbuss, that's what I need. Is that thing dead? That thing's dead. I mean, look, that thing had loads of armour, yet my sword went straight through it, and I didn't even need to take its armour down to 0 to kill it. Which is... That means I'm not entirely sure how armour works. I just don't know. So maybe I don't need to worry about the gun. I've been using the gun primarily to get through armour. We'll have a look at the weapons in the store. That looks kind of nice. I like the sound. That's a beautiful sound effect, actually. I could sit here and listen to this for quite some time. If you move your hand back again and it cracks a bit, you can do the full rotation. Sometimes it's funny to use the phone with the left hand. I guess everyone gets different little ailments and afflictions and weird things. I've got a neck that clicks and cracks when I turn my head, which is really odd. You've got your left hand and Anyu's got a bad back. Can we blame computering for any of this? Not for my neck, I'm pretty sure. Not for Anyu's back, because she hurt it lifting some stuff. How do you do your left hand then, Indigo? Did you break it? Oh, you broke it, didn't you? But was it sports or just an accident? Clearly armour doesn't work if you went right through it. I don't know what armour does. It absorbs some of the damage, but clearly not all of the damage, because when I started this game, I was under the impression... Well, I don't know. The more armour you have, the more damage it absorbs. So I know when I've hit things that are on nearly full armour, they don't take much physical damage, but when the armour is gone, they take a lot of physical damage. But it doesn't work like you do 500 points of damage, and if you've got 500 armour, it absorbs all of that first. It's like a decreasing scale. I'm not sure, and I don't know at what point it becomes... Oh, I thought that guy was dead. Seems like there's a few in here. Let's just do put a poison bomb in this lot. We'll finish these off quickly. Ooh. Knocked down. Yeah, I don't know how it works. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know at what point it becomes not worth worrying about armor damage and just going on for full damage, because there will be a crossover point. And at the moment, I'm actually thinking just going all strength gives me the best of both worlds, maybe. Oh, you playing football and you did it? You were a goalie then? Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Having a broken wrist as a goalie is like, it can be like a career-ending incident. Because it's, well, people often mistakenly think, that looks like something I'm going to have to fight here, doesn't it? This thing. A winged creature. I don't see a sword. But that looks very much like the beast I'm going to have to fight. I predict. I can hear something down here. Yep. What the hell is that? Is that something new? That's something bigger and badder than we've met before. Is it by itself? Hide, 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 hide. I'm going to get the first attack in. I am going to get the first attack in. If I've got to be quick, though. I've got to be quick. It's going to turn. It's going to turn. Oh, well. Oh, it's not that... It doesn't look that hard, actually. He says, dying horribly. I'm still in trouble here. Okay, gun time. Yeah, guns are sometimes useful. Yeah, saying that people often assume that goalkeepers are sort of... It's one of the safer positions to play in a football team. But they can pick up some nasty injuries with all the diving about, getting balls slapped in the face. I meant footballs, of course, in case there was any doubt over my intention there. Hey, how did I miss the stealth? Okay, so these monsters are pretty beefy things. Holy crap! Well, let's just take a drink. Keep slapping him down. Yes, we know my armor's falling apart. Oh, I'm dead. I think I quick saved just before those. I don't like them things because it's not very clear on the animations when they're attacking and when they're just sort of repositioning. Oh, he's seen me? Oh, he's seen me. It's actually it has poisoned me, yes. Just shoot him. That's what I've got the guns for. Job done. Yeah, some people do actually think that soccer goalies are the safest place on the team. Someone hits hard and you block with your hand in the wrong position, it won't end well. No, and having to make sort of tackles on people as they're coming in and you dive at their feet to get the ball, that can be really dangerous too, I'm sure, as you well know. Oh, god damn it! We have a bit of poison in there. A bit of poison on my blade and let's go. They actually poison from their attack. And my bloody... see if we can get one just down. God, what's that? Can I was trying to dodge, actually, when that happened. I think I was just poison. I hate poison. Absolutely hate poison in this game. Because of the time... I know I use it to my advantage. But the time it takes to deploy an antidote potion, the animation lock, this takes too long. He's going to die, isn't he? Good. Right, I've got full fury for this next fight. So I'm going to try to better